ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about Hell's Paradise. Now was a doozy of an episode, to say the least. All of the reveals that we got here, the fighting, the action was more than present, and also a bit of pain. But what I really liked in this episode were the characters, especially Yuzuriha, Sagiri, and Senta. I have to give a lot of credit to Senta, but this was one of the most interesting episodes we have gotten so far in the series, which also makes me think we only have one more episode left after this. So next week is gonna be the final one, which where is season 2, because there's no way to wrap this up in one episode. But let's get into this one and talk about it. It picks straight off from last week, the last scene with the tree getting his head ripped off, which he's not actually dead. We're gonna get to that, by this Tensen, Jujun, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, welcoming them there, saying, you're the first people in 1,000 years to make it here. But what I liked was Yuzuriha's reaction. Out of instinct, she felt that was something very dangerous, and she ran directly, instantly, no hesitation, nothing. She just wanted to run away, but she gets caught by the Tensen, and this is where he starts going on a monologue, revealing quite some very big secrets of the island. But he just didn't care. He thought he was in full control over there, and I like characters like that even more when they get the rock pulled from under them, which we'll get to that. But here with the reveals that happen, we see that the tree is also alive, but well, semi-alive, because that decapitation is gonna accelerate his transformation to the trees that we saw here. And this is where the Tensen Jujun drops a big bombshell, because which kind of made sense here, but it's nice to have it confirmed. Pretty much all of us could know that those trees, those souls weren't gonna make it to Horai. There had to be something else for it, and apparently this is the case. They lied about those souls, their tools, their experiments, the human experiments. That's the purpose of the island here. They're just testing things out, using them as lab rats, and some high quality humans just get turned into Tan, as we saw it a few episodes ago, or the elixir of life. But this wasn't the biggest reveal that happened in this episode, because while there's some sort of immortality, some of the others have achieved it, not actually immortality, more like eternal youth in a way. If humans drink this Tan or this elixir, they turn into those trees. So pretty much the entire goal of the trip here, the purpose for the pardon, why so many people died, why this entire thing started, doesn't have an end goal, because the elixir, even if they get it, doesn't actually work for humans. Of course, this is assuming what Jujun said is true, or if they find another way to use the elixir. But I don't think he had any reason to lie there. He just couldn't care. Like, you're not gonna be able to do anything, I might as well tell you the truth. That's why I'm saying he was arrogant, and he wanted to just keep on experimenting on them. And this is what I really liked about the characters. I liked that the first thing that came into Sagiri's mind wasn't she was worried about her mission, she would be worried about facing this fight or anything else that was happening around her. She was worried that without the elixir there's not gonna be any pardon for Gabimaru, showing how much she started thinking of him, caring about him, and I really liked that being her first thought there. Now this is where we have the action kind of starting a bit. Yuzuriha escaping with substitution jutsu, reminding me of Naruto a bit. I feel like she's the ninja and Sagiri is the demon slayer character. We're gonna get to that. Now she escapes, and I like how very efficient she is. She just proceeds to chop that guy out very easily. Like, this is how a ninja should be. Honestly, she's more of a ninja than Gabimaru. Gabimaru seems like more of a tag ninja, kind of a brawler. She's like the actual assassin, or kunoichi, however you want to call her. and I like her personality quite a lot. She wanted to snap Sagiri out of that state she was in there. I like her cheerfulness, how she looks at situation, and of course she's very, very hot. Yuzuriha, my wife. I'm joking. But yeah, now here we see that didn't work out, of course. Jujun regenerates very easily, and here it's revealed that Yuzuriha knew about Tao, and they in fact called it Ki or Chi back in her village, which I kind of said the last episode and a few videos ago. Kind of feels like that sort of power system, Ki, Chi, however you want to call it here, channeling your spirit energy in a way. And that just goes into teacher mode. Like, the arrogance on this guy was insane, saying he wants to teach Yuzuriha how to use Tao. He didn't care about all of the others. Even Senta tried to protect Yuzuriha, which is gonna be very important here. And we have Sagiri being sent away by one of those distant strikes he tried, and he kept, while he was doing anything, he kept giving tips and pointers to Yuzuriha. Hey, I use this distant strike, you're not gonna be able to do it, but this is how I did it, and so on. You have to learn about the... I liked him, but I wanted to punch him so much. And that one actually hurt for Sagiri. Now Senta joins the fight. He starts attacking, chopping him quite a bit, but they weren't really able to damage him. He was regenerating very easily. Now we have the Kam Jutsu coming again from Yuzuriha. Slime strings, the way she uses it, and she reveals a bit how she's able to do that, like ingesting medicine, poisons and things like that, and she's able to secrete them again. But we know how it looks. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, my mind is in the gutter, of course. But now we have the fight starting, Senta and Yuzuriha versus Jujun, and they're kind of losing. They weren't really able to do actual damage there, and him, that creepy face that he had there, welcome to horror. Like, he had the presence of a god, but he's more of a monster, and they made a really good point about that. Now Sagiri gets a tip from the tree guy, asking if there's any way to defeat him. He's not a god, it doesn't matter here, and he tells him to go for the tanden, as in the stomach area. We saw all of the other characters, they figured it out. Gabimaru versus his fighter, everybody else, and I really liked Sagiri here. She felt like she kind of got into that groove. She goes on the attack, and she's able to increase her Tao based on how she breathes, her breathing technique. And of course the Demon Slayer reference made me think of that instantly there. And he dodged, he actually dodged. He was scared of that attack, and she cut him a bit, not deep enough, but he wasn't fully regenerating there. And Sagiri is saying she knows how to cut Tao because she's seen it before on the giants they fought. Gabimaru also kind of has this aura sometimes around him, so a lot of the characters have been using Tao, but they didn't know they were using the Tao, so to say. Now this is where we see they made a really good point. I feel like it reminds me of Naruto, how the elements were working, water, fire, how everything has an opposite and a natural enemy. And in this case it seems like Sagiri's Tao is special and is kind of the natural enemy against Jujin, the Tensen, and Yuzuriha's Tao is similar to Jun's. I mean, I'm so bad with names, but I hope we're gonna get a chart or something like that. I want the power system to be expanded a bit more. But the fight starts again. He tries to, well, go invisible in a way, hiding his presence, and they start working together, fighting against him. I feel like they did a really well team, and Yuzuriha, she was probably my favorite character in this episode, and how she was interacting also with Senta, kind of using him a bit as a human shield there. But yeah, they were a bit outclassed, to say the least. This dude was even able to fly and being able to bombard them from above after he also turned into a Shio Omon, doing that thing they do where they're able to kind of amplify their powers a bit, that we learned last episode, changing their gender, the yin and yang thing here. And now we see that Sagiri and Gabimaru are gonna suffer from this. Now we see it first with Sagiri. She kind of overexerted herself a bit. She gets a nosebleed with those breathing techniques, so they're gonna have a long way to go before they're even close to the levels of the Tensens. But this is why I liked Yuzurika. She cheered up Sagiri, kind of snapped her out of the state she was in for the second time here, telling her, hey, it's a monster, not an actual god there. Now this is where we get the reveal with the matchups, how Sagiri is the natural enemy of this guy, and Yuzurika showing her tenacity even more. She was willing to take damage just to bring Jujin down with her strings there from the air. Now Senta kind of had a bit of a Goku moment, if you guys remember from the beginning of DBZ, holding Raditz for Piccolo to attack them, but showing how well trained the Asaemon are, because while he was holding down Jujin, Sagiri coming in for the attack, and he trusted her for being able to be so precise, telling her cut very close, and she does in fact that, and it looks like they won the fight. Sagiri cuts the stomach area where the weakness is supposed to be. But I'm like, even while I was watching the episode, there's no way it's gonna be that easy, right? We saw the fight with Gabimaru, and they don't seem that weak. He could have killed them very easily, but he was playing around quite a lot up until Sagiri kind of awakened a bit into her Tao, so to say. But what came after that, this was, I kind of like this part more than the fighting here, and Sagiri calls out Senta. So you really care about Yuzurika, you like her, and poor dude didn't know how to react, and saying he's jealous of her freedom. And that's very important because we get a bit of a backstory with Senta, seeing how his life, his current position was kind of forced upon himself. He wanted something else. He wanted to be an artist, but his family was very strict. They pushed him into this sword executioner lifestyle. He hated killing, and he kind of buried himself into studies, but which kind of had an adverse effect. The more he studied, the higher in rank he went. And then he kind of shut himself off and kept doing his job, and he admires Yuzurika, but he's also jealous of how free-spirited she is, how much freedom she has, the way she looks at the world. Is kind of what he wanted to be able to do, and I kind of agree with him. I really liked how Yuzurika is, but she was the first one that read him like an open book when they first met on the boat. Hey, you don't really care about this, you don't care about your family or anything, and she read him directly, and that was the moment when, like, he kind of fell for her quite hard. And Sagiri saying she understands a bit of what he's feeling, because we saw it quite a few episodes ago, also more episodes, and even more in this episode. What was her first thought when they found out the elixir wasn't real? She first thought about Gabimaru. Now, I'm not saying Sagiri, Gabimaru, he's gonna forget his wife, but I feel like the relationship between them is more of a friendship, respecting each other, kind of complementing each other with how they view the world. It's gonna be a very close bond, but not a romantic bond, Sagiri and Gabimaru. And this is why I liked this part more, because delving a bit into the characters, and yeah, that was a very interesting one. But you could feel like the atmosphere changed a bit. It was too quiet, too calm, too everything there, and the foreshadowing. Senta. Now, before we get to that, we have another scene with right after the fight they had on the other side with Gabi and his group, saying he knows about Tao now, but he acknowledges that he hasn't mastered it yet. So a lot of them are gonna have to advance more into the power here, and he goes to talk to May, saying what exactly does she want, can she help them. And I really like Tamiya saying he doesn't want to force May to show them the way or anything, especially after what we found out last episode, how they wanted to use her like a training sex tool prop just to get their power. That was very disgusting, but I'm glad they're protecting May. She needs to be protected here. But this is where we see Fuchi kind of he got some reports from Sagiri how Gabimaru has this soft spot about his wife, but we see he has more soft spots now, the way he was looking at May, willing to protect her. And Fuchi was like, is this going to be a problem? No, I don't think it's going to be a problem, because Gabimaru is actually finally starting to be more himself, which I feel is gonna make him more powerful. Is gonna be for the better, instead of being that killing machine. Don't get me wrong, I love when he goes killing machine and kills his enemies there, but it's nice starting to care about other people. Now this is where Gabi has the same reaction that Sagiri has with the nosebleed, but a bit more extreme, considering how much fighting he has been doing ever since they have been on the island, how much damage he has taken. It's kind of surprising a bit how he's still able to be standing up, but this time it finally hits him and the nosebleed and faints there, which is gonna be interesting when he wakes up, what he's going to do here. But they need more training, to say the least. Now this is the pain part of the episode. The body of Jun kind of started transforming to flowers slowly. Even they were surprised when they saw it, asking, were there so many flowers before? And one final attack, one of the vines with the flower goes after Yuzuriha. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna kill Yuzuriha, or maybe she's just gonna be wounded and they're gonna have to carry her out and things like that. But no, Senta jumps in and takes the attack actually, and this is where kind of his life or his admiration flashes before his eyes, thinking of Yuzuriha finally getting a sense of freedom in a way, saying he finally got to do what he wanted, something of his own choice. But in his mind he saw himself drawing and kind of drowning at the same time with how much he cared about Yuzuriha. And unfortunately he's dead. He started turning into those humanoid flowers things that we saw it even at the beginning of the series. But he went out sacrificing himself for somebody, and even more impressive, for a criminal, with the way their positions were here. But yeah, it wasn't that easy. Jun is still alive and he has his own transformation, and is that giant flower with two humanoid bodies above, like that ether mask that you have, sad and happy face. And I don't know how they're gonna handle this, Yuzuriha and Sagiri against him. Are they gonna run? Are they not? But at the last second, right before they were about to be killed, they get saved by Shion, coming in clutch at the perfect moment. Now, are they gonna go against him, or are they gonna run? We're gonna have to see in the final episode next week, which I hope at some point we're gonna get season 2 announcement and everything. But overall, this was one of the best episodes in the series. Finally got me more invested into it over here. I feel like the last few episodes have been better and better with each one. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the episode. I probably rambled way too long about this one, but I love talking about anime. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about Yuzuriha, Sagiri, Senta, and Gabimaru, and their relationship here moving forward. And would you like a season 2? We're gonna talk more about that in the last episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Hell's Paradise. Make sure to check out the podcast Because Anime, link in description. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye bye.